Welcome into the Farmers Union pregame show. As always, I'm Ken Oda. Noah Grant is alongside. And again, returning special guest Nick Maxon, play-by-play of the St. Cloud Norsemen. Tauros get an interesting win last night. For a 1-1 game that went to a shootout, there were actually more offensive chances, and I thought just overall an entertaining game despite the score.
It was an entertaining game. Back and forth at times throughout both periods. Also times where both teams realized that they didn't want to be a track meet. So there were times where the neutral zone became a little bit more clogged, but I think both teams battled through. And unfortunate for St. Cloud, but good for Minot. They get the shootout win in a very tightly contested hockey game.
Yeah, I felt like at the end of it, we talked about it on our broadcast. Tauros probably deserved the fate they got against Bismarck the previous night. They probably also deserved the fate they had last night. They earned it. They were the better team in period number 3. Had to survive a pretty scary overtime. St. Cloud was the better team in the extra frame, but the Tauros remain unbeaten in the shootout.
You know, I think a big part of it as well that we didn't discuss enough last night on our broadcast, don't know about yours, but I thought both goaltenders played really well. There were a lot more chances than a 1-1 game with, I think, shots finished 30-21 would indicate, right? You wouldn't expect that many good scoring chances, but both Manzella and James came up huge.
Yeah, it was a game that statistically didn't really match up compared to the previous night where there were a lot of goals, but it was kind of flat against Bismarck. Yesterday, there wasn't a ton of scoring of chances if you looked at the box score, but it was a game that ended up being really tightly contested and some really great saves. Like you mentioned, Manzella had to be strong in period number 3, and then James at the end for the Tauros, a couple of big saves to get us to the extra session.
And it really was that old-fashioned sort of pitchers duo, right, between the two goaltenders. Let's not forget, if you're a St. Cloud fan, Manzella stopped 2 shorthanded breakaways that Minot had, so kept them in the game. It could have been sort of a catastrophe on the power play for the Norsemen had Manzella not come up with a couple of big saves. So kind of fun when you see those low-scoring games when you have good goaltending matchups, and Manzella both, as well as James, for you guys, great performances by both, and it easily could have been a much higher score either way.
So Tauros get the shootout win. Bismarck gets a shootout win over Austin, and Aberdeen beats North Iowa. Let's take a look at the Tauros Tribune Central Division standings. Updated now, Austin stays in first place even with the shootout loss. They're at 17 points. Tauros in second place with 15. Aberdeen, with their win, stays with the Tauros. Bismarck picks up 2 points. St. Cloud now technically falls out of the way too early playoff picture with just the 1 point last night. And North Iowa, they continue to struggle, dropping their 9th in a row.
But, you know, this is the Central Division, right? You talk about way too early, right? It's 3 points that separate first and through 5th place. And, you know, North Iowa, yes, they're struggling out of the gate, but we have seen in years past with this division, teams figure itself out and then all of a sudden get themselves into contending, I should say, for a postseason appearance. So it's tough for North Iowa early, but I mean, again, 3 points. So if the Norsemen get 2 points tonight in this hockey game, they're right back in, but to a possible second place. So it's always a fun watch on the Central Division, see how this Central Division plays out.
Yeah, Noah, to his earlier point, we saw Bismarck do that 2 years ago, right? They were last place in Christmas, and then they made the playoffs by knocking us out on the last day of the season.
Yeah, certainly it's not over until the fat lady sings, so to speak, and I haven't started singing yet at all. But with that being said, I mean, if Aberdeen, Bismarck, and St. Cloud end up getting 2 points tonight, that division race is going to get even more interesting as well. Or if you throw Minot in there, I mean, like you said, the separation is 3 points. Things could get really interesting, and as Nick alluded to, that is the Central Division.
On to the Tauros Tribune Live players to watch. I'll kick this one off tonight. 4 Tauros coming back in the lineup. I had to pick one of them. I went with Will Dawson. He had goals in both games against North Iowa. He's got 4 on the season. I look for Will Dawson after a couple days of forced rest to get going again.
Yeah, speaking of forces, I've got Colby Bear on my list. He only has 2 points in the season. He's that 4th line centerman, but he's someone who brings a lot of grit to this lineup, and I feel like he's someone who creates a lot of turnovers and really goes underrated. When you're a bottom 6 forward, you don't necessarily get the credit or highlight that you deserve necessarily on paper or when we talk about the broadcast, but I think he's been a consistent force. There's a reason he's played in basically every game for the Tauros.
And for me, St. Cloud is Tyler Dysart. I felt like he had a really strong game last night. Really using his foot speed well, was up on pucks in the forecheck, really good defensively as well, just creating battles and winning those puck battles along the wall. So didn't get a point in yesterday's game, but I felt like his game could translate very well here into the second game. I just felt like He's just a good all-around player, and again, 5 assists on the year. He's more of a distributor of the puck, but he continues to play. He did last night. He'll eventually find more on the score sheet.
Well, we look at last night's Tauros Tribune Live players. You had Luca Munoz. He had the goal. You had John Small. He had a goal. So I definitely keep an eye on at least these two guys, players to watch tonight. Moving on to the home key group keys to the game. I'll kick this one off as well. I'm going to say it's trunk or treat night. The Minotauros Booster Club had everyone out in the parking lot starting at 4:30. Another packed trunk or treat. Sticking with the Halloween theme, let's make the Mesa Arena a house of horrors for the opponent. When this place is full, we're expecting about 2,000 people tonight, if not more. It's a hard place to play. Score early, get the crowd into it, make it an intimidating place for the opposing team.
Yeah, I always thought it was a house of horrors because I saw a mirror earlier in this building, but nonetheless, my key to the game, fourth line grind. We talked about Colby Bear already, that entire fourth line. They're usually the situational call for Cody Campbell. After any special teams advantage, after a goal, they really kind of jumpstart the momentum the other way for the Tauros. I think they're going to be pivotal. Again, we talked about how underrated they are. I think that they're going to be a group to watch in terms of generating momentum, and if they add a point, well, hey, that's always a bonus for Cody Campbell's group.
And for me, the keys for St. Cloud is just you got to get more pucks through to the net. I felt like off the forecheck, they did a really good job of possessing the puck, trying to go low to high. We mentioned that yesterday, and they did that, but the problem is Minot really good at pressuring those defensemen in the offensive zone, so they really weren't able to funnel pucks towards the net. They had to go back down the wall, and you saw their shot totals. It was under 20 shots for the entire game, so St. Cloud's got to figure out a way to turn that possession into shots on net, and then also trying to follow up to get those secondary opportunities as well.
All right, well, now we turn our attention to the Four Bears Casino and Lodge Sportsbook over-unders. And again, we'll have these two guys play here on the pregame show. You can play whether you're watching at home or here in the arena. Open up the Tauros Hockey mobile app, lock in your guesses. You can win a $200 stay-and-play package. It comes with a room at the hotel, $200 in slot play, dinner at the restaurant, and more. So get your guesses in, and hopefully you can win the stay-and-play package. First one, I talked about it in my keys of the game. Score early. Tauros' first period goal is 0.5.
Gotta go with the over. Come on.
Oh, I have to go with the under. I'm the visiting guy. So.
Well, there you Yeah, these guys didn't really have a choice in that one. Minot total shots on goal, I'm going 30.5. Tauros credited with 30 last night.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the under on this one, and it's not because of the way the Tauros are playing. I think that these two teams is going to be a tightly contested affair. I think the neutral zone is really going to become a physical chess match. We're going to see a couple of grade A opportunities, but they're going to be hard-earned and they're going to be well-earned. Because I'm that guy, and we do this in other areas, right, Noah, is I had to go with the over. Yes, it was tightly contested, but I also felt at times both these teams, they play similar styles, right? I felt like at times it was a track meet, and the ice opened up at a couple times. So I'm going to go with the over, especially with St. Cloud. They're going to look at their own shot total, looking to add more. I'm going to go with the over on that. All right, and then this one, not really hockey related, more has to do with the Tauros Trunk or Treat out front tonight. Total attendance for tonight's game, 2,000. Kobe Brault's giving us his vote from behind the cameras. He's saying it's over 2,000. Noah? I think I'd be disappointed if it was anything less. I definitely agree that it's going to be. 100%. It's going to be over this place, one of the best places to play in the Null. Great venue, great fan group. So, yes, it's got to be. And you actually got to be here last year for the Trunk or Treat. You filled in for me when I was gone for a wedding. Stop booing the man. He's a good guy, okay? I don't think they recognize me when I'm on the away broadcaster's side, so I get it. Well, they said House of Horrors earlier. I recognized you. I saw you. Well, you forgot to look at the meter. That's all. So. But yeah, so this is not your first Trunk or Treat experience here at the Mesa. You saw what it was like last year as well. And again, now the second game you can play in the Tauros Hockey mobile app. Noah, we don't let you play this one because you should know the answers. But we'll let Nick play along McDonald's Tauros Trivia. Win a free meal from any North Dakota McDonald's from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's. AJ Ruskowski set the Tauros record for fewest saves in a shutout. He did that against St. Cloud. How many saves did AJ make in that game? 12, 14, 16, or 18? Well, since I was very close last time, which means I'm going to be right on this time, right? I'm going to go with 14. 14, all right. You can get your guesses in the Tauros Hockey mobile app. We'll reveal that answer later in tonight's game. That'll do it for the Farmers Union pregame show. We will turn it over to Ben Lifto and the PA for tonight's introductions.